Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Braja Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Shiradi Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarastim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nasta Prayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. So here we are again, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 30, text number 33. The chapter is entitled Description of the Adverse Fruitive Activities. Kevalina hi adamina, Kevalina hi adamina, Kutumba Baranotshuka, Kutumba Baranotshuka, Yati Jivo Nidhatisram, Jivo Nidhatisram, Karamam Tamasapadam, Karamam Tamasapadam, Kivalina hi adamina, Kavalina hi adamina, Kutumba Baranotshuka, Kutumba Baranotshuka, Jati Jivon Jati Jivon Yidhatasmaram, Jati Jivon Yidhatamishram, Charamam Tamasapadam, Charamam Tamasapadam, Kivalina hi adamina, Kutumba Baranotshuka, Jati Vijanda Tamishram, Charamam Tamasapadam Kivalina, simply. He, certainly. Adamina, by irreligious activities. Kutumba, family. Bharana, to maintain. Uchuka, eager. Yati, goes. Jivaha, a person. Andha tamishram, to anda tamishra. Charamam, ultimate. Tamasa, of darkness. Padam, region. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Therefore, a person who is very eager to maintain his family and kinsmen simply by black methods certainly goes to the darkest region of hell, which is known as Anda Tamishra. Purport. Three words in this verse are very significant. Kivalina means only by black methods. Adamina means unrighteous or irreligious. And Kutumba Bharana means family maintenance. Maintaining one's family is certainly the duty of a householder, but one should be eager to earn his livelihood by the prescribed method, as stated in the scriptures. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is described that the Lord has divided social system into 4 classifications of castes, or varnas, according to quality and work. Apart from Bhagavad Gita, in every society a man is known according to his quality and work. For example, when a man is constructing wooden furniture, he is called a carpenter, and a man who works with an anvil and iron is called a blacksmith. Similarly, a man who is engaged in the medical or engineering fields has a particular duty and designation. All these human activities have been divided by the Supreme Lord into 4 varnas, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. In the Bhagavad Gita and in other Vedic literatures, the specific duties of the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra are mentioned. One should work honestly according to his qualification. He should not earn his livelihood unfairly, by means for which he is not qualified. If a Brahmana who works as a priest so that he may enlighten his followers with the spiritual way of life is not qualified as a priest, then he is cheating the public. One should not earn by such unfair means. The same is applicable to a Kshatriya or to a Vaishya. It is especially mentioned that the means of livelihood of those who are trying to advance in Krishna consciousness must be very fair and uncomplicated. Here it is mentioned that he who earns his livelihood by unfair means, Kivalina, is sent to the darkest hellish region. Otherwise, if one maintains his family by prescribed methods and honest means, there is no objection to one's being a family man. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation again. Therefore, a person who is very eager to maintain his family and kinsmen simply by black methods certainly goes to the darkest region of hell, which is known as Andama Tamishra. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu Ummilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but by the mercy of my spiritual master, he is kindly forcing open my eyes with the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnu Pada Krishna Prasta Budale Shumari Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namane. So the descriptions of adverse fruitive activities. So, we are hearing how we are dragged to hell, basically. Whether you like it or not. If you perform adverse activities, there is adverse reactions. We understand the yin and the yang, and the whole universe is balanced out. So if one is performing or trying to maintain his family through black methods. This could be like thieving, murdering, and causing all these nasty activities. So if one is going around earning his livelihood in such a demoniac way, then he is certain that he is going to go to hell. And we're encouraged so much in the Bhagavad Gita not to do like this. We have to be honest. Honesty is one of the first qualities that is mentioned as being real knowledge, to be honest and truthful and not greedy. See, if we are honest and truthful, then we are accepting our allotment in this material world. If we are honest, some of us are reaping the rewards of our karma and are living very poorly. Some are living in great palatial buildings. Someone is born as a prince. So we're all taking our birth according to our past activities. This is the understanding we get from the Bhagavad Gita. And then in this life, we are given certain qualities. Like there is the carpenter, there is the brahmana, there is the doctor, and then ultimately, there is the Sudra, because in this age of Kali we all have this Sudra sort of mentality or propensity. So in this age of Kali, it is a little bit more difficult to define, what is my dharma, what is my duty. But therefore that is why the spiritual master is there also. He assists us, or the other devotees will assist us and guide us into finding that which is most beneficial for us, so that we perform our duty and we get the result. But Krishna is also saying in the Bhagavad Gita not to be attached to the result of your activities, and ultimately to surrender everything unto him. But while we are maintaining our family, we have to be deal with this, money. We have to deal with the money when we're in the Grihastha ashram, because the wife is there asking for so many things, and the children are crying and tugging on our clothes and to be fed and all this. So we have such a big dilemma when we enter into family life. There is so many things to be done. So we're being encouraged here by Lord Kapila Dev to do it righteously, to be honest. And in this way, things will go on. We may not become hugely opulent, but the thing is that we are not going to be going to hell. We don't want to enter into these hellish planets again. We understand the samsara. This is the journey of the soul. And we are going through so many bodies. We should not think that this 100 years that we've been allotted is the all in all. No, we understand again from the Bhagavad Gita, never was there a time that did not exist, nor in the future shall I cease to be. So we should try and get this understanding. And the best way to get this understanding is by performing devotional service. By rendering devotional service to the Lord, He gives understanding from within the heart. It is said in many places in the Srimad Bhagavatam and in the Bhagavad Gita that by this process of devotional service, we become enlightened. We get the real understanding of our predicament, because that's what it is. We're in a predicament at the moment where we're in these bodies. These bodies are only designed to last so long, and ultimately it will be turned to ashes, eaten by worms or dogs, like that. So this body is destined to be destroyed. But our destination is what we are really focusing on. So while we're performing our household duties and providing for the family, we have to be very righteous and truthful and honest and kind. We have to have all these qualities of the devotee. And by doing this, by being honest and kind and truthful, people appreciate that within the material world. If they see that you're being honest and truthful and kind, they will come to like you, and this will also enhance your fruitive activities for acquiring wealth, like that. And it is the only way to exist in this material world for devotees. We have to exist like this. We cannot exist by cheating and by these black methods, because we understand that there is this place called Anda Tamushra, which awaits those that do like this. So we avoid this like anything. It's like a plague, like this COVID-19 thing. We are trying to avoid it. We're putting on our masks, and we are isolating. So in a similar way, we should be trying to avoid all these unrighteous means of earning a livelihood. It should not even enter our mind that we can earn a livelihood by, thieving and killing like that. So it's a very basic thing for us. But the problem is the power of the material energy, because the wife will be there and she will be maybe encouraging us to do like that. There is such and such a person living down on the outskirts of the village who has so much wealth, and then we can become bewildered simply by the advice or the wrong advice like that. So that's why we're encouraged to seek the association of the devotees. They will help put us on the right track so that our path will not be going down into the hellish regions. Our path will be leading right out of the material world back to Goloka Vrindavan. We are not even encouraged to obtain the heavenly planets where Lord Indra is residing, or even to the planet of Lord Brahma. We're not encouraged to do like that, because we have heard in the previous chapters in this third canto of the nature. Actually, earlier on, we're hearing from Lord Brahma of the nature of this material world, and ultimately it's this time factor which is our problem. If we didn't have the time factor there, everything would be, you could say tickety-boo, if we didn't have the time. But the time factor is there, and the nature of time, as Krishna is mentioning in Bhagavad Gita again, of destroyers I am time. So everything is going to be destroyed except our real selves, a jiva. We won't be destroyed, but we will transmigrate in this material world as long as we are being fruitive and we are being attached to the results of our activities. If we are hanging on too tightly to these things, then Krishna will see that, and he will make arrangements for us again to come and take birth. Now it will be a human birth. We are guaranteed that. One who is performing devotional service is guaranteed this human form of life, but it's not what we want. We don't want to again have to go into the womb and live there for 9 months. And we hear again of these descriptions in, the 5th canto, of while we're in the womb, how we're being bitten by worms, and it is such an uncomfortable position to be in. So we have to be convinced that this material world is a place of suffering. We have to be fully convinced that the sidelong glances of the beautiful young girls is actually a trap. Now, I don't want to appear to be speaking too harshly about the allurements of the woman and all how they will lead us to hell, but this is what is being presented to us. We have to be very, very wary of the beauty that is only skin deep. Just under the surface, we understand there are so many abominable things. So we have to see through the eyes of Sastra and not just see with our material eyes, because our material eyes will lead us to believe that there is something very beautiful. The form is very wonderful, and the kind words are being spoken, and the sweet smelling fragrance, and all these things that can make us forget of the dangers that lie there within this material world. So we have to become convinced that this material world is a place of suffering, and we are here only for a very, very short time. So it's almost like we have to become, it's like urgent work to be done, and that urgent work is to develop our attraction to Krishna and then our detachment from the material world. We have to become detached and somewhat even disgusted by the material world. Now these are very strong words, and these are the words that are being presented through the Srimad Bhagavatam. These are not so much my words. I'm just repeating what I've heard, and I'm trying to apply these words, practice these words, and in this way get some deeper understanding of our real situation. So we are encouraged to come and hear these instructions, these narrations of the dangers of this material world, the descriptions of adverse fruitive activities. So we have to be very careful on how we are earning our money. When we are earning our money, it should be through honest means. Otherwise, we are creating a very inauspicious future for ourselves. We may not be able to see it, but then it will be all revealed at the time of death. So we have to become very wise in our dealings with everybody. Our dealings with devotees, we've got to speak very nicely, try not to criticize, try to serve the devotees. These things are encouraged because we are creating our good fortune through our actions and our words like that. So we have to create very auspicious things for our future. So hearing Bhagavatam, chanting the holy names, rendering devotional service, these things are helping us to achieve the highest goal. Now, we may not think that Goloka Vrindavan is the highest goal. Some of us may not be convinced of that. Some of us may still be attached to, acquiring wealth, seeking out beautiful women, and all these sort of things like this. So we have to come together and encourage each other and become strong so that we do achieve the highest goal which Srila Prabhupada has given us, which is to be able to associate with Radha and Krishna and Goloka Vrindavan. Now, as we go on in our devotional life, we will get a deeper understanding and more realization of what that means to associate with Radha and Krishna and Goloka Vrindavan, and how sweet it is. By hearing the narrations of Prabodhananda Saraswati and his, and how he describes the good fortune of one who is able to reside in Vrindavan and remember the pastimes of Krishna. Okay, I'll leave it there. I'll read the translation again. Therefore, a person who is very eager to maintain his family and kinsmen simply by black methods certainly goes to the darkest region of hell, which is known as Andhata Mishra. Now, we could say we've been there already, because we understand we have been here for countless lifetimes. So we have probably visited this place at some time in the past, this Andhata Mishra, where very heinous things go on. Where you are, we hear the hellish descriptions. So we should take this very seriously and be very careful how we use our tongue and the words we speak and the actions we do. Everything is being witnessed. As we understand, Krishna is seated within our hearts and he is witnessing everything. So let's give Krishna something to be joyful about. Let's offer Krishna a flower, some fruit, some water, some incense. Let's bow down before Krishna and let's pray to Krishna, please help us to become purified and so that we can become qualified to enter into your pastimes. This is really our desire. We want to enter into Krishna's pastimes. We don't want the pastimes that are going on in this place called Andhata Mishra. The pastimes there are full of screaming and painful, horrible sound vibrations. So we want to absorb ourselves in this nice sound vibration, which is ultimately the Maha Mantra. Absorb yourself in Krishna's names, and gradually, everything will be revealed. Any questions, comments? Everyone's looking very convinced. Everyone's thoroughly convinced here. That's why we are here. All right, so may our day become auspicious. May we do something that pleases Krishna and the devotees. And in this way, we will become joyful. Jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi.